Good morning and welcome to Mo Knows, featuring me, Monica Mo Justice. Okay. All right. Let me get a few things in order. Uh, it's just one of them days when you're feeling all alone. Just one of them days. And that's it. All alone. Just one of them days. And that's all alone. All right. So, girl, you need to get up with the program. Okay, hold on a second. We have until 9:20, whatever. Yes, I took a second day off. It's the stupidest reason, too. It's not the stupidest reason because I got time. Um, I'm tired. I just got up and I'm exhausted. It's the craziest thing. Let me see this right here. If I was to take this, and if I was to, I don't know, y'all tell me if this works. Let me in a new window. Let me reply. No, let me forward this. Okay. So let me forward this to um one moment in time. All right, let me just put a subject. I will be doing horoscopes today. Okay. Let me do this. No. We do this. We do this. And then we do. Okay. That's that. All right. I did something different this morning, so y'all tell me how that works out. And that's it. Well, it's horoscopes. It's horoscope day, and that's what we're gonna do today. I'm getting in my horoscope mood in 1 minute. Good morning. See, I have to move this stuff around. Good morning, Eval May. Okay. Good morning, Diane. Good morning, Miss Washington. All right, here we go. It's horoscopes. You know we love some horoscopes. Okay. I don't care how fake and phony that is. I still am working off of my headache. But it's horoscope season. It is whose season is it? We did Virgo, so now it's Libra season. Let me get to it. Let me go to my Nook app. Get out of here. Oh, this is gonna be some bullshit for us today. Here we go. Here we go. On it's nonsense. Please hold while I get the camera situation straightened out. Hey, Satsuma. It is whatever season I said this was. It's horoscope season. It's horoscope Fridays. Come on, come on, come on. We're about to do some horoscoping. I just have to find the camera. Um, out of here. Out of here. Let's lock this in place. Okay, so now here we go. Let's send to La. Hey, Myron. All right, it's horoscope season, and we're getting it on. We're getting on with our horoscopes. All right, let's see. Let's see what we got going on. Shout out to Dream Diamond, whatever sensation group, aka Alethea, for waking me up this morning. It's been real. All right, this part is for everyone. Here we go. Here we go. Get too happy. On October 27th, you will notice there isn't any illumination in the evening sky. Ooh, we need to mark that. So that sounds like we'll be back on October 27th to look at the evening sky. Yet, this new moon in Scorpio will ignite your passion and a resolve to create habits that support favorable changes in your lifestyle. Choose healthy adventures to chart a fresh course. Even though many may not understand the path you're taking, remember that it's your life. I was just about to say something. I'm going to leave it like that. It's your life. Live your life by your definition. Don't let other people define you. As per Momomo, Libra, break through September 23rd to October 22nd. Stay focused. This month, you will handle every task with style and finesse, and you're determined to succeed. It's your time. Never let them see you sweat. Stand out. A new attitude has you ready for your close up. Treat yourself to a statement making jacket or some head turning boots, and think of all sidewalks as your runway. Woo! Be open. It's perfectly fine if your master plan didn't work. You're already a winner. Surrendering to the unknown is a scary yet liberating feeling. Surrendering to the unknown is liberating. Yo, enjoy it. Let's move on. Scorpio. Look ahead. October 23rd to November 21st. Dream. You know that goal you've set your sights on. Go harder. Seize the day. Listen. Close friends may share knowledge you could use. Trust that universe is always on your side. So trust that the universe is always on your side. Lighten the load. Hibernate and determine what to let go of for the you who's emerging. Attitude, wardrobe, habits must all be assessed. Good living is on the horizon. Sagittarius. You know I love saying Sagittarius. Sagittarius. Make strides. November 22nd to December 21st. Plan. What do you want to be remembered for? Start thinking about your legacy. Then begin to establish it. Consider options. Your fearless personality has opened the door to many career prospects. Savor rewards. Whether it's a promotion, a raise, or recognition for a job well done, accept your accolades with pride. It's one more step on the road to victory. Capricorn, level up. December 22nd to January 19th. Let go. Ambition is a necessity in the eyes of a goat, but try to forget how high you must climb and just enjoy the journey. Thrive. You are learning that chances for growth can be found in everything God touches. Be bold enough to broaden your perspective and appetite. Your inner, wait a minute. I said appetite, but that was wrong. Be bold enough to broaden your perspective and appreciate your inner and spiritual voice. Enlighten. Refrain from judging your sweetheart's slow evolution. Lead by doing. Others will follow in their own time. Aquarius, claim it. January 20th to February 18th. Speak up. Daring to express yourself intimately to a significant other could bring a welcome change. There's nothing wrong with saying what you want. Don't stop. Has thinking about a legal issue been keeping you up at night? Press on and watch things turn in your favor. Soar. You've gathered the information, took major risks, and reevaluated associations that no longer serve you. Now fly, fly higher than an eagle. I'm just saying. Pisces, move forward. February 19th to March 20th. Reach out. You've proved you can survive on your own. Now make room for someone special to explore the possibilities. Trust. Broken friendships have taught you some hard lessons. Use your intuition as you select new paths. Discover. The deeper the roots, the taller the tree. Get ready to unearth truths about loved ones that may explain their insecurities. Aries, reinvigorate. March 21st to April 19th. Encourage. Your significant other could face a difficult decision that alters family dynamics. Your support may be the glue that holds it all together. Communicate your independent nature. All right, communicate. Your independent nature is admirable, but success is ensured when you make your intentions known. Get away. Your honey or bestie may surprise you with an escape. Take the first thing smoking out of town. Taurus, lean in. April 20th to May 20th. Find out. Study different ways to approach your self-care regimen and make it a lifestyle, not a phrase. So incorporate this in your day-to-day, basically. Strength and flexibility may be all you need. Share. To ease any anxiety, bring a family member or friend with you to your next doctor's visit. Take action. Plan your meals. Proper nutrition keeps your stamina up and your immune system strong. Gemini, go for it. May 21st to June 20th. Flirt on. As long as your boo can keep complicated emotions out of the equation, being playful and carefree with others is a good thing. Create. Tap into the fertile space of your imagination by writing or painting, and maybe earning some extra cash along the way. Have fun. Find a youngster to befriend this month. Passing on knowledge and making memories will nurture the child in you. Cancer, elevate. June 21st to July 22nd. Draw closer. Reestablish bonds with those dearest to you. You've made major changes recently. Be proud of the person you're becoming. Advance. Make that move you've been contemplating. Pay attention to the details. Connect. Head off with any ill will between a lover and your family by gathering everyone for a house party or intimate dinner. Leo, strategize. July 23rd to August 22nd. Zero in. Asking the proper questions could lead to resolutions that enhance your quality of life. A coach or spiritual advisor can help push you in the right direction. Network. Join like minds who share your passion for community justice. Problems have gone unaddressed for far too long. Affirm. Manage your love life. Vocalize what works for you. Virgo, gain ground. August 23rd to September 22nd. Make strides. You may be led by the quest for green. Self-love has taught you to ask for what you're worth and to spend accordingly. Get physical. Engaging in low impact, concentrated exercise such as yoga or form of martial arts may be beneficial. Organize. Redecorate your home to reflect a new outlook. Congrats on finding balance. Well, that concludes the horoscopes for Libra season. Hope you are enjoying your Libra season. Hold on a second. I want to be able to cut this video without having to spend hours trying to figure out how to cut it. As we move on to the next topic. Welcome back. Welcome to Mo Knows. This is me, featuring me, Monica Mo Justice. Hey! Flawless Fridays. Oh, Lord, what could we do? If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, but you love my vibe, this is the time to do just that. It's always good to hit the like button on your way in. If it's something that, at the end, when you're leaving, you dislike something, hit the like button again on your way out. It's free will. Just stay away from the dislike button unless you really want to tell me what you feel. Then in the comments section at the end of the video, share. I love constructive criticism and it helps me grow when it's constructive. Just let you know. Mo knows that. Okay, anyway, moving along. Good horoscopes this morning. Anybody need me to revisit theirs? I want to revisit mine. That's why. It says strategize. Asking the proper questions could lead to resolutions that enhance your quality of life. A coach or spiritual advisor can help push you to the right direction. Network. Join like minds. See? Like minds. It didn't say just join anybody. It didn't say just pick up something. Join like minds who share your passion for community justice. Mo Justice, no peace. Mo Justice, no peace. I'll just saying that. All right. I done had enough of me. All right, what's going on with y'all? I can go back into my mode. Mode. I'm just in my mode. I realized what put me in a state of it's a recent text message I received from someone. And I was trying to put it in its proper perspective. And that's it. It just was one of those. I don't like messages that tug at my heart. And I don't like the inability to reach back and clap back. And people do that. But sometimes people can't handle they can't handle the response. so they find a way out instead of confronting their demons. But I will tell you that writing stuff down and not really being concise with it can make a situation more confusing than what it does. It doesn't add closure, it just adds room for speculation, room for assumption. And if you don't want room for speculation or assumption, sometimes you should just pick up the phone and have a conversation with the person so that you could be so that all your feelings could be expressed clearly and you can get out what you need to get out. You should plan time for that discussion instead of thinking that a long-winded text message could convey the entire message. It seldom does, and it just brings more disaster between a conversation that could have alleviated the whole damn thing. That's just my thoughts. You don't have to share in my opinion, but that's just what it is. Hey, Boogie. Um, and I understand that in this day and age, people are sometimes afraid to express themselves because they feel like the other person is not going to value their expression. If you're dealing with people that don't value you, you just need to get rid of the people anyway. You ain't need that person anyway if someone's going to not value what you bring to the table. But that's just be my opinion on things. And that's it. So I've gotten out of my sense of, hey, critical thinking reload. How are you today? Exactly. Do not like not having closure. You know what? I'm not sure if it's closure. I believe, me personally, I feel like sometimes people send a text message so that there could be open closure. Like, it's a way to prompt you to call them instead of just picking up the phone and calling somebody. I would rather say a text. I would rather send a text and be like, yo, when you have a moment, I want to speak to you. But I'm not gonna do that because I'm not gonna do that. And that's it. I'm gonna let everybody live in the world they want to live in, because at the end of the day, um, if I can't, if I can't, if things are out of my control and I really don't have any control over, what I can control is what I do. I can't control how the next person, man or female, how the next individual processes information and how they react to it. So all I could do is just be like, I'm here to support when you need my support, but do not think that I am a walking board that you could just walk all over me and think that this shit is cute, because it really isn't, and is not befitting of some people. And that is all I'm going to say about a text message. Um, and if they're ever listening to me, they will know that they are the person that sent the text message. And that's it. And sometimes I'm a moody person, right? Believe it or not. Yes, Mo is moody. Y'all, most of the time you see a radiant smile because I'm happy for the day that was given to me. But I'm a moody person. Uh, and most people don't admit that. Right? I'm a moody person. I can see your bullshit miles away. And that's about it. And it's many folks. I've been on the YouTube now for a minute. And it's just crazy. Well, let me explain my moodiness. My moodiness doesn't come across as boring. So you're not gonna ever come and just find me like, yeah, most of the day. If that's the fucking case, I need to get off of here and go and handle my business. Because you don't need to hear that and I don't need to feel that. You so in your moodiness, you have a bad, well, y'all know my bad side. But I am working on, not displaying it as much because the stuff that goes on around here shouldn't bother me that much. Like, because at the end of the day, none of this stuff, uh, I'm not making no money off of this. The minute that I make a check off of this shit, then we got other rights going on. But as long as I'm not making no money off of this, ain't nobody got no right to like make me upset and have me all out of my character. I woke up in the middle of the night and I was watching this other channel, and I was admiring how the woman just handles herself in dealing with some of these characters, right? But she defined the behavior before the behavior arrived, right? So then the behavior showed up, acting in its behavior stance. And Boogie, let me tell you who it was. So, right? So I'm watching her channel and she's speaking truth to facts. And she starts to explain how people, one particular channel behaves himself, right? And I'm gonna tell you, I agree. And I've seen this particular channel by being in somebody else's channel, right? And I saw the person on a panel one time, and he had some kind of sound machine or some shit, and it was doing something like when he spoke, the sound machine made his voice echo or sound much louder. And I was like, how fucking immature. We got a grown ass man on a platform, on a panel. How fucking immature. So everything that he said made no sense to me because it was amplified. So every time he spoke, I just was like this. Like it just and then the machine, and so when other people spoke, he interrupted and stuff like that. And I was just like, that's not a quality conversation. That just is an example of not having nothing to say and just wanting attention. So I don't understand why people are confused by behaviors here. Some folks don't have people to interact with in their day-to-day lives, so they cherish the moments to be here on the YouTube, to be on platforms. He wasn't shouting a point, he was just shouting. That's the point. The point is he got no valid points. And if he did, he doesn't know how to reach his intended audience so that his point can be heard. So what he does is he cuts off people, he's annoying, he's undisciplined, he's a pestilent man. Cause I'm not even gonna call him a child because I don't fucking know. I don't know of him that great because I don't watch him and I don't plan on going to his channel. So I don't care what he does over at his channel. I only care about what he does in the spaces that I visit. No, sir. Um what I was gonna say about him, that could be. The problem is I'm not gonna watch him, right? Because And I'm not going to encourage. Good morning, Jumana. I'm not going to encourage other people to even take a look over on that other side, only because I don't believe it's conducive for our success. He is talking up for the men not being chosen by women. You can't speak like, all right, whatever. Um, I'm gonna speak to the points that the woman was making last night that I heard her make eloquently. Um, One, first and foremost, in these YouTube spaces, the men are creating a new language, right? And when they're successful at it, they feel good, right? So yes, when they're successful at it, they feel great because they got people talking like them, people acting like them, people doing the things that they do. Right. So that gives them some, hey, Dallas Cowboys, that gives them some prestige. For what reason, I don't really understand, but they feel it in their they they feel like they've come a long way. So I'm just going to leave these people to feel like they've come a long way. Hey, honey lot, but um and I think making up the language here on the YouTube is one of the things that has been most daunting to me, because the Pookie, Ray Ray, Educated Lame, that was the beginning introduction to language I didn't understand. Now selected, unselected, like I'm not, listen, and I hate that I even regurgitated this bullshit. Um, but be on the lookout for those kind of terminologies. It's nothing. It's nothing ever so popular. It's nothing um ever so encouraging to hear. It's just a bunch of, in my opinion, it's a bunch of disgruntled gentlemen who haven't found haven't found a way to find happiness. They haven't found the happiness that they're seeking. And what they end up doing is just uh, make up things so that they can belong in a society that they feel inadequate in a society that's either left them alone or doesn't want to acknowledge their contribution. And this is the only way that they can find acknowledgement, is by generating these kind of conversations. Those are the things that make them whole. And one has to be very careful promoting this type of imagery, um, or having engaging it. I think it's an anomaly myself, and I believe it is the entertainment that they've created in this space. And honestly, the women that they dream up or they dream of having, the relationships that they dream of having, all of this stuff lives in like fantasy island up here. It's like a fantasy lane. Like, I don't know, most of the time the women they describe, the behaviors they describe, I'm not familiar with those type of individuals. So I don't want to necessarily say, oh, the woman that he's talking about, the type of woman that he's talking about doesn't exist. It's a figmentation of his imagination. I'm not going to say that, but I know using terminology and making up some shit and calling people, and making up all this terminology and trying to make it fit a scenario is a figmentation of someone's imagination. And at some point, you have to figure out, do I want to further his imagination or do I want to stop it? I believe that here on the YouTube, people don't want to understand that these social platforms are, in fact, creating uh, a cult like it's a cult like environment. It's a cult like environment, and in the cult like stature, you have two entities running simultaneously. You got the cult leader, who is the person that people gravitate to, and then you got the cult members. And as time progresses, you will see the difference between platforms that have true supporters that will ride for their channel holder. And then you have other platforms where you will just see it is a feeding ground for people that need direction to gather and follow. And that's it. And they follow the most dynamic, what they see as the most energetic person, the person with the loudest bark, the person that can make someone feel less than themselves, right? Because they're following because they feel less than themselves. So feeling less than yourselves, speaking to somebody or following someone that is equally feeling less than themselves and putting down other people, uh, just makes for a combination of entertainment. And it's at the expense of the flock of followers that thrive for that entertainment. And a person will stop at nothing to continue providing that level of entertainment. So I've seen it, and I've seen it where I came from. I've seen the orchestrators of it. I've seen the people that put this together. I've seen them in action. I didn't know that's what they was doing in the beginning, but I've seen it play itself out. And then I've seen the same groups of people or the same individual flip, flop, flop, flip, 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 flop, 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 and end up. And it makes no sense. And it doesn't make sense to people that have common sense, but it makes a lot of sense to the people that are lost sheep. So when you see sheep stay asleep, uh, I could see why he came up with a name like that to try to wake folks up. Like I can understand it. But it's really sad, and it took me a while to get to this point to start to identify, but it's when things don't make sense and you really can't explain it away that you got to take a step back and really look at it and say, "Oh my goodness, this is outrageous. How could someone go for this?" And then you see people like saying, "I need to be there, like because everybody else is there, I need to join." So it's something interesting. So I wouldn't be surprised that this person is a shock jock. I've seen it before here in the social space, and you know these type of energies or entities rise rise up. You see them rise up often. But at the end of the day, the end game is entertainment. And at some point in time, you will have to choke up some of these negative hate speech type conversations as not the real thoughts of the content producer, but really just entertainment for the flock. And you'll know when that is the situation. I'm not talking about anything specific that he said because I did not waste my time on what he was saying, to be quite honest. But I did hear her mention that he used the terminology and she was speaking to that terminology, and then he did the rope a dope thing that they do and like, "Were you speaking to this?" And she said, "I'm speaking to that because that was what you were talking about. And I done told you that we don't consider that viable on our side of town. As a woman, we don't see it viable. Either a fucking woman wants you or she doesn't want you. And if you are men that black women don't want, you have to figure that out for yourself. Why they don't want you. But I've seen, I'm glad you say that, right? I've seen other men cater to this same type of energy, right? They cater to it because it, and honest and earnest, it builds views. So if people are watching the crazy bullshit, and this is how you know when people are entertained by this, you will see a content producer leave his platform or her platform and let it be ran by others in their absence when you have the onus of everything that goes on, because it's just entertainment. They'll put up the sign, be right back, give me 5 minutes, be right back. Like, it's like, how could you, if you were taking this seriously, leave this shit open to go do something else and talk about be right back? It's just, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Now, absolutely ridiculous. Let me see what I got. Some of this stuff I want to be, so something else I have to say. Um, no, but you can see that there's a lot of hurt. There's a lot of hurt egos there. I never met men that are this sensitive. So two things strike me on the sensitive level. That one, I never met them. I'm glad to know that there is a sensitive side to a man. I just wish they would man up. And that's just the way things are. Okay, raining woman, good morning. Um, I'm just, and that's my earnest thought on it. Like, I am elated to know that there's a softer side of man. That man has a sensitive edge. But I'm extremely disappointed that they don't know it's a time to man up. And for all of us that are in the world where we could date, right? When we introduce ourselves up to dating, that world is completed based on your destination. Whatever path you go on to begin the process of dating, that's where you encounter all your challenges. So you have to look at the destinations that you were using to meet people. I have a friend and he went on a boat trip. Yeah. I don't know if I told y'all this story, but I have a friend a couple of years ago. He went on this boat trip, and I drove him to the boat, right? I was so happy, right? And we promised, and I'm gonna have to hit him up on this. We promised to take one of these boat trips together, right? But I gotta figure out how we're gonna do it, because it would be like two single people. We gotta figure this out, but that's probably why we ain't do it yet. But he went on a single cruise, right? And he came back not singled anymore. And it was simple, right? When he sent me some kind of text message, he said I met somebody. Everything I told him not to do on his way to the boat trip, he did the opposite. So he got drunk on the boat trip. I don't know how he brought in his own drink, but he got in with his own alcohol, whatever. And he went on he met this woman on the boat. And of course, he was intoxicated one evening, whatever. And she brought him back to the room. One thing led to another. But I know that's his MO, because I'm Mo. I'm his friend. I know this is what he do. And he ends up with the crazy chick, right? And she becomes a crazy chick 2.5 minutes after I meet her at the pickup as I picked him up from the boat. So I guess he wanted me to know before I got there that he met this chick on this thing, right? So I get out and I meet her and I give her the look up and down. So we get in the car and I said, this is going to be a fucking nightmare. He's like, what do you mean it's going to be a nightmare? Whatever, whatever, whatever. My friend, he always, even though I took him up there, he drives. So he was driving and I was talking. And he was like, don't say that. This is the one. I got the right one. It wasn't more than 3 or 4 days later that all the signs that she was a hot mess was coming through. It wasn't the car, the brick through his window. I forgot what the fuck. First it was the keying. She keyed his car because he had his car parked at some other chick's house because he was in a relationship before he went on this boat trip that he was, gonna go and assess his brain and get it out of his mind and come back and see if they should be together or whatever. So we didn't know which girl keyed the car, to be quite honest, because we was thinking it was the girl that he dumped for the girl on the boat. But it turned out it was the girl on the boat because she immediately followed him. So apparently she followed him. She followed us home to his house from when we left the port. So she went and followed us there. Now before we got to the house, so he must have given her his address before. But before we got to the house, we stopped off to eat because I had to get all the scoopy scoop. So I got all the scoopy scoop and then we went to his house or wherever. I went inside his house for maybe like a half an hour, 45 minutes because I met with his mom. His dad hadn't seen them in a minute. So I couldn't not speak to him. And then his brother lives next door to him. So I stopped over in his brother's house and spoke to his brother for a while. So it was a nice little visit for me. Then I went around a couple blocks down to my parents' house and visit with my parents, right? So his car got keyed a couple days later, this and that and third. She had spent like a couple of days mad at him about my presence. So, to the point that we had to do like a three-way call to explain to Crazy Girl that I'm just a friend. She's just a friend. And she was like, those friends that do that stuff, they stay friends so that they can get. I was just like, oh God. So I just had to be like, girl, I don't even know what his dick looks like. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Sorry for the explicit details, but I just had to be like that. Hey, um, Andre Kitchen. Good afternoon. You should be sleeping. Yeah, I had to. Yo, she just got on my damn nerves. I just had to be like, listen, I don't even know what it looks like, but I can assure you. Oh, I said something. I remember because I haven't really spoken to him much because of this little phone call we had. I was like, I can assure you, I don't know what it looks like, whatever, whatever, whatever. And I don't. I said something like, I said something. It was very derogatory, right? I was just like, I'm not. And he was offended by it because he was like, if I wanted you, I would have had you years ago, or some bullshit that he was saying. So his ego was bruised. I remember that. And I was just like, it don't work like that. Sorry, buddy, it don't work like that. But his ego was bruised. Yeah. I guess he was saying it's just mutual. Yeah, I'm having a problem charging my phone. No, probably bruised because I just said what it was. Like we've been friends. Maybe that's why we ain't planning the trip. I forgot about that. Cause now that would be a little awkward. And not for nothing. We've been to like sleepaway things. Cause back in the days we used to do this ski trip in the wintertime and we all went and we slept in the same place. Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy one of those. Um because this shit is getting out of control. Um, I gotta go to the car to charge up the damn phone, and that's pissing me off. So I'm gonna bring the car charger. This was one of the car chargers that I bought up here, and it's not working. But I don't know if it's because in the car I hang it like this to charge. I don't know. Anywho, that was just it. I don't know how I got to this conversation, but he just had a crazy girl. It's your destination. It's wherever you pick up the person that you're going to meet. It was a single cruise. I think it was just premature to get off of there and think that you was gonna come home with a girlfriend. The bitch was a stalker type chick. And she did all kinds of crazy shit that you could write a book about and be like, something wrong with this girl. And my friend, he's a mechanic. I forget this too. He's a mechanic, so he fixed cars. So she had a whole bunch of issues with her car, and he was fixing her car for nothing but the cost of parts. So she had to buy the parts, and he put the parts in, so he wasn't charging her for the labor. And then she got in her feelings because she kind of felt like he should be just fixing her car. So that was one of the things on the argument that we had, because she was like, he should just be fixing my car. I was like, he is just fixing your car. He's just got the part. Y'all killing me. Yvonne May said, I'm peaking again. She's on her way to work. All women are crazy. It's just levels of it. I'm just like, yo, this is just these women are a hot ass mess. But he fixed her car and stuff, and that was one of the issues. She got some parts delivered. Then he didn't want to put the parts in. Then he had to get his friend to go take the parts to her. It was like a whole big. It was just way too much. I should text him and ask him if he'd been on a thing lately. I should just text him, period, just to see how he's doing. Since I'm talking about him, I should just be like, hey, what's up? Boogie, you and him share the same name. So it's probably your presence making me think about ooh, that's interesting. Just call. I was just call. Yo, I don't be saying names over here. These people like to dox. They come up in this shit. They be looking for all the ones that live by me. I don't know how many live by me. They'll go and make that guy's life miserable. I swear. That's because Erica Badu made that song. No, I'm saying they'll then spend their time trying to figure out who he is to fuck with him to get to me. That's what these people do out here. That's why I gotta be careful with you. Well, I'm glad you said that with more, you know, more respect. You just gonna take their check. All right, what did y'all have for breakfast? I feel like I can't with this neighborhood up here. Yo, I want to just go like, who was it that came into the chat yesterday talking about their good ass dinner when they had all the seafood stuff? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. If you reach out to my friend Todd, what's gonna end up happening is that he's gonna just want to fuck you. So he's not gonna care about who you is. He gonna be thinking of ways to get in your panties, whoever you is. So he will try to figure out how to get you. Oh, that's who it was. Yeah, I'm sitting up here. So this whole time, you know what that sounded like, but we don't have any more up here. That sounded like Joe's Crab Shack in her house. I was just sitting up here. I was like, because I don't really eat all that seafood stuff because he has an allergy to seafood, um, to shrimps and stuff. So I don't get to cook that. The only thing I get to make around here is some salmon, but that she seems to be able to take. I get whiting every so often, but yeah, it was delicious. It sounded delicious. It's had me hungry ever since. Yo, Boogie, I was looking at I was cuz Atomic Wings don't deliver up here. What time do they open? 11 o'clock. I'm gonna go get me some Atomic Wings today. I want some Atomic Wings. I've been wanting them so bad because they got the best lemon pepper Atomic Wings. I'm gonna get me some of those. Ugh. Actually, I love their hot whatever their buffalo wings are good too. I love those too. I could eat those too. I could eat the combination of the both. I've been wanting Atomic Wings, lemon peppers. So I'm gonna go down to the post office, and on my way to the post office, I will stop and get me some Atomic Wings. And then when I come back, it should be parking time to find any old parking space. Yeah, Atomic fucking Wings. That's what I want. And I don't want their waffle fries. I just want the Atomic Wings, all the juicy sauce. Oh, I don't even want to talk about it. I just want the Atomic Wings. But they don't deliver up here. So I was looking at what is it? Dinosaur. It was Dinosaur Barbecue. Cause I remember I like their barbecue sauce. It's going to be a repeat, and I'm going to blacken a piece of salmon too. Yum yum. Oh, that's just crazy. Yeah, they deliver though, but I couldn't figure out. I never had their brisket. Is their brisket good? Cause that's what that's what I wanted when it was thing. Hey DOD, how you doing? Um, that's what I wanted. Good coverage on the trial. Y'all wanted me to hear my thoughts on something else? I know I said I was gonna leave that shit alone. I'm starting to feel like the other people, cause let me know if y'all want to hear it. If y'all don't want to hear it, I'll just leave it alone. But it has to do with, so we went through the trial phase, then we went through the verdict phase, then we went through the sentencing phase. But the only phase I missed was the impact statement phase. All right, here we go. Okay. So the judge in the impact statement phase, right? Everybody's pissed off, right? Because the judge came down and hugged her. Oh, before I get to that, yes, there's gonna be a definite lawsuit. And I won't be surprised if the white chick, Amber, doesn't sue the building complex also. I thought about this last night because her attorney was meticulously mapping out how the door was defective. And they could say they can sue this manufacturer, and I'm sure this is and y'all is going to be pissed If she sues the door, the people, the manufacturer of the lock, because the lock was defective, and it seemed like they had witness after witness come up there and talk about how the door, when it rained, like they just innocently said this shit, how it rained, and piece from piece. The problem here is that this should have never been a trial in the first place. You had people that could not come to a decision on a settlement, and they just let, because people were saying, oh, she had defective counsel. Well, now that I'm looking at it, no, she didn't. These people open up a floodgate for a lawsuit on both ends of the spectrum, and y'all are gonna be, if she sues, if Amber sues, y'all gonna be sitting here like this. Yes, I wouldn't be surprised, because they said the door sweated and the lock didn't work, and they had to be doing shit with the lock to get the lock to work, all this other stuff. They tried to make a distinction. Was that the deadbolt on the inside, like when you put the chain on the door? And this is what it has prompted me to the conclusion. And I wrote to management here, I want a chain lock on the door here. Because if he had put his chain lock on and she had opened the door, right, then it would have stopped her. Like when you're in a hotel room, because people could because the cleaning crew can enter, when you're in a hotel room, they have that other bolt of security. So that means that when they open the door, somebody's in there. So you need to announce yourself to gain further access. That's what they needed on this door to prevent it. Who knows what they put on the door now? But that's what they needed. Some way of the person on the inside to lock that on the outside. So I will not be surprised. I cannot say 100% that they will sue, but I will say that they set up enough to be sued. And they will say that had it not been for their lock, she would have never killed the guy on the inside of that apartment, even though she mistaken the apartment for her own. But if the lock had worked properly, she would not have gained entry into his apartment, or whatever it was. It has to do with the lock. And she would have been better off saying the door was not ajar, or I think she was trying to describe in her testimony there how the door opened with her key. Like the key gave her access to the door. Not that the door was open. I'm going to go back to her testimony today because I wanted to hear that again, how she describes it being open. But she said she put the key in the door. So that's to lead anybody to believe that, yes, I further thought it was my apartment because I put the key in the door. And I believe that the reason why you saw so much empathy from like the judge and so on is because everybody knew that this could have been an honest mistake that anybody could have made. And they had testimony after testimony of different people walking down and putting their shit into, being confused between the third and the fourth floor. The judge court officer showed complete bias hugging. There's no real bias. They didn't show. The reason why you can't say they show bias is because this was outside. This was after the case was already done and the jury had been dismissed. And honestly, at first I said, all right, if the judge only hugged all of the victims, right? The defense could say she had a bias towards us the whole time. She was loving up all of the victim, his mother, but the fact that she showed compassion for the defendant as well, went into her chambers, got a damn Bible out, came and delivered the Bible. This is why I'm not in religion, because this shit is just so much. This what happens when you be running around here. I'm with Charlemagne, with white Jesus, sweet white Jesus. Now I have no clue why the guard was patting down her hair. I have no clue as to that. She need to do some work on her own hair. Woo! I was just like, I said, you need to go in the back and get a damn comb for yours, miss. Yo, the things I be thinking about when this stuff happens. If I want to tell, I can't. I don't believe in no Jesus. Man, listen. I'm at the point. I'm not gonna say I don't believe in no Jesus, but I respect. I respect your I respect your opinion on that, and I can understand. This does not make it helpful. This does not help the people that don't believe. Right? This does not help at all. This just encourages people to say this is why we don't believe in sweet white Jesus. This is just why. I think she asked if she was selling that blonde stuff. No, I think it was. I don't know if it was like calm. I don't know because it was a whole lot. Yo, let me tell you something. And she just sat there, like she sat there, like y'all can fucking do anything to me right now because I'm having an out of body experience. You was acting like like you was behaving like a complete troll. Grand Risings. I am like no, I have a lot of people here that they believe in the Bible and they believe in Jesus. And I know it's hard to balance out. And then I have my own spiritual beliefs. And it's really hard to balance out, but I respect everyone's position. It's just a story like this makes it hard. It makes it hard to understand what forgiveness means. And see, if vengeance is mine, and this was my take on the son, no sentence that we can pass down to her will meet her judgment day. And I think that's why he was easy to forgive, because to walk around, and I don't think he was easy to forgive because the picture they painted in the sentencing phase is that he hasn't spoken. He's been quiet. So now my position is he been quiet because he been around all you damn women. And this is why uh we have such a divide between the black men respecting the black women of today because of the type of image that this woman felt. He said, "Good morning, Mo." Good. So I know his thing. I know I was still in his thing. Hi, I was just thinking about you. All right, that's it. I respect their take on religion, but spiritually is two different entities. So yes, I agree. That bailiff was running her fingers through that lice infected. Y'all are killing me. But I get it. I truly got it. It was just weird. It was weird. But that's my final. So there's more to come on this. I don't think it's an appeal we're gonna see. We're gonna see people We're gonna see people that are like surprised if they sue this building. And honestly, the exit rate out of that building was crazy. People all they should change the name of those apartments because people was all out of there. And I did see the video where they was walking through the apartments. They were just as I thought. The floors were the same. He said, "How dirty Jersey treating you?" Damn, I haven't spoken to him in a minute. I'm in where am I? I'm in Harlem now. Oops, haven't spoken to my friend. How do you give forgiveness to a person that didn't even ask for it or apologize for the murder? The forgiveness, the forgiveness he was given was for himself. It was his salvation that he was worrying about because he said, "My brother would have wanted me to do this. This is what my brother would have done." See, they're living that family, but again, I'm going to say this: they are foreigners to me. I understand that their skin color was something else, and I am going to say this because this is how I've been feeling. Um, they're Africans. We're St. Lucia. Help me with the understand. I'm just going to speak my mind. See, they immigrants. This is why I couldn't relate to this woman. I'm going to shut up. I know I am. Uh, oh, they would. Well, they're not Americans. They're immigrants. And they don't connect. They come here to the United States and they see our world differently, right? Um, they just see it differently. They don't have they have a different struggle, and that's it. Good morning, Miss Tawana. Miss Tawana, they have a different struggle than we have, and that thing is just crazy to me. And all right, so I'm gonna keep my African. See, this is why I had to ask where it is from. No, I just felt like they came over here and they didn't understand our culture, so they don't understand that the black man is under attack here. They didn't understand that. And that was it. She put no value on her son sitting on that stand. And that's the thing that had me the most distraught because there's no freaking way my son would have been working at a prestigious accounting firm like them that does statistics and all this other stuff, and I would have marginalized his value when white kids can't even get in there. You understand? It is very hard to get inside that place. So you've got to have a strong work ethic and you've got to be smart and top of your group. Like there's no freaking way I'm going to marginalize that. That's because she said in her testimony, I wanted him to do this and he did something else, right? Who fuck are you? He's a man. He made a choice. He had to live here. He understood it. Now her daughter was abundantly passive, but she also knows the fear. She's raising three, three, three male children in New York City. Imagine that. Her fear is different. So she understood. I think she identified more to her brother's loss, but probably can't make her mother understand because they come from a different culture and they don't understand our culture. So to try to identify or for us to try to identify with them and feel like they should have understood more is not, I don't think that was okay. So let me read this. You're not supposed to forgive for a dead person. Forgive originally meaning The original meaning of forgive is surrender. What and why are you surrendering to murders and evil people? We don't get it yet. Okay. I believe he was, he, the brother, was finding forgiveness in him because it had eaten at him. According, if we was to believe his mother, he was not the same. You understand? And maybe he's not the same because he's in this position that we saw from him, and it might be counterposed against hers, but juxtaposed against hers. We can't see that. We don't know because we don't know what he was like beforehand. But come on, the neighbors was talking about Boo BJ was running around there singing up songs, and he seemed torn between the spiritual world. He was up there smoking his marijuana up in his apartment. What was the other music the girl said she heard him play? It wasn't no spiritual song she heard reaping out of there. The building was extremely diverse. If you're not African descendant American, you are not going to understand the plot. Never will they, nor beef, but we are not the same. They don't get it. Yeah, I'm first of all, I'm gonna say what I was gonna say, right? Now I know I might be wrong, but I'm gonna say it just so it's been out there. I was like, I thought they were from Africa in the first place. And my thing was, how could they really understand when they sold their people into slavery in the first place and gave their people over to the white man to put on a boat and didn't give a fuck what happened to them, but send them off to send them off to this land and then know what became of them. And it sounded like the same thing as she was describing, leaving him here in America to learn. And see, they do that so freely. People from other countries, they, especially the West Indians, right? But people from other countries send their youth here to earn the big bucks here and then take the money and send the money back there so they could live. Because she even said on the stand, we don't make that kind of money. And she broke down the dollar difference between the American dollar and her dollar. So to send him to school here was very expensive. So I was just like, dang. But um okay, I don't know because you saying no beef. I don't think there's no beef here. We not over here on this. Besides maybe Boogie, maybe DOD comes in. I don't really know uh Raining Woman that well, where they've been in this communities and stuff to have had a deeper, profound conversation. But the rest of us influencers, we just listening. We're not going to even we I, I'm speaking on behalf of the influencers and myself. We're learning and we're introducing these topics gingerly so that we are not offensive to anybody. Yeah, yeah, the dropettes too. I'm speaking on behalf of community. No, I understand that he is speaking from a point of information that we don't have the foundation in. So we're listening and learning. We're not it's you're not going to find an aggressive tone over here unless it's from people that have a different experience. Oh, y'all gang members? Oh, y'all no longer y'all gang members? I say no beef because I don't want non-African Americans to be offended though. Respect. No, I understand. Oh shit, here we go, Mo. What? What did I do? All I'm saying is that when I don't have enough information on a topic, I'm not going to sit here and speak to it and make a fool out of myself and make it seem like I am right and everybody else is wrong when I don't have enough information. So I'm gonna listen to his talking points and just, rock with it. I'm learning. Every day is a learning experience. Now, if somebody point me in a different direction or say something differently, then I'll look at that. I'm not saying I'm listening. That's all. Why should they be offended? Well, people get offended because sometimes other people's truths, right? Their perspective on a situation, because that's what we've determined here, that someone's truth, when you say, oh, that man is speaking his truth, that we understand that that man is speaking from his perspective. People don't respect other people's perspective. Here we're open to consider somebody else's perspective, especially if they just lay it out. But some people come in very aggressive with their talking points and feel that they are right, so because they are the only right position, and because they feel that way, they present it in a way that they're browbeating it into you because you don't agree with them. And I dislike that the most, because I think that if you're free to speak, you will share honestly. And if you had an open mind, you'd be able to listen. And then if there are parts of that person's perspective that is really contrary to what you believe, you'll be able to express that as well, because you would have the respect to object in a way um that is productive. I think that is a fair statement. Um, that there's a talk or discussion. This discussion is very needed in America. African Americans and Africans, just as much as why and what started Black men and women's civil war in America too. Um, I would be more interested in the latter of that statement, the Black men and women's civil war. And that's a good way of putting it. And I've never thought about it from that stance. That's a strong political statement. And it would be interesting to find out, how did we get into this civil war that we find ourselves in. And I'm sure it's going to start with colorism. For amongst people of color, I think it starts with colorism as a start, and it's going to be the house slave versus the field slave mentality approach. Education, then falling in place, those that were educated versus those that weren't educated, and then the fallout of generational things, stuff that followed. When we speak on targeted, wait a minute, when we speak on design targeted and select positioning, people don't believe it's okay at this point. They see us all the same. um they see us as one. They see us as yes, I agree with you, Boogie. They only see color, and they only see black person of color. It is not the Willie Lynch syndrome, because as I told you the other day, there's no documented, there's no way to evidence that that letter ever existed. So if that's going to be the premise of your argument, then you're going to be disenfranchised because you don't have the proof of the Lynch letter, where that came from, opposed to somebody's thoughts. It's as if you wrote your own dissertation on the situation, and then it was able to be distributed amongst people. Because I read it last year, because I just became familiar with what it was last year, because somebody decided to send it to me or host an argument with me from it. And I said, I ain't never seen the Willie Lynch letter, so you can argue by yourself, because I don't know nothing about it. And then I went to read it. I was going to add it as information to put here, but I was just like, forget it. Well, some people will beg to differ about that Bible statement, because they do read their Bible and believe. So it's going to be hard, but I've never until I got to this YouTube and counted people that was living from off of the Lily Lynch letter or whatever the hell his name was, Willie, Lily, whatever. I know too many people that was living off of that letter until I got here on the YouTube. Yeah, we do have Malcolm's speech, but sooner or later here on YouTube, Malcolm's speech might not be, unless you're looking at it from a perspective of it being historic history. Any other viewpoints from it will be considered hate speech. Well, and I understand where Wonderful is going to come from because she's a student of the Bible. So I know that I know if she was around, she was going to speak up on it. I myself know some verses from the Bible, but like I said, next year that would be my endeavor to read the Bible, and I'm not gonna come here paging by paging with y'all. But if I should come across something that I find interesting, I will. But otherwise, I'm doing that as a part of me, just me doing that. When we speak on, all right, I got that one. Men and women need to understand we are all we got. We are all we got. But at the end of the day, DOD, hate stands that whatever it is, that whatever that jealousy is, that green-eyed monster that flows through people's veins, that wipes out all sense of the ability to love. And see, what I want to say, what I saw pouring out of the guy on the brother, right? I saw him wanting to exemplify what love was. So to him, love was forgiving her, even if she didn't ask. You and I'm sure some people will find scriptures, quotes, or whatever to say, I loved you, I love you more. And that's what he was exhibiting. So I don't want to be mad at him for it. But I want to be like, this is what happens when your influence is so great and you're trying to live through your influence. So this would be the same. I remember watching Oprah Winfrey one time, and she had some young kids who were spouting out, yelling Bible scriptures, right? They were non-blacks, and they were yelling this out, and she had them on, and then she asked them for the meaning of the scripture that they was yelling out. And the child just repeated the scripture over and over again. And she said, okay, I know that you understand the scripture. Then he said, it's not for me to interpret. And he came up with some other scripture that says it's not for him to interpret what was written in the Bible, and so on and so forth, right? And I realized that he was learning without processing. So he was able to repeat, regurgitate, depending on how you look at it. He was able to repeat the information taught, but have no application of it. And that's what we're going to have to wrap up soon. That's what the problem is. There's a lot of people up here teaching stuff, but there was no application of it. And the brother on the stand was applying it to his life. So he was saying, this is what love looks like, and this is what forgiveness is. And can I give her a hug? Because these are all the ways that he felt he can apply it. And that's what I think he did. I'm not going to say what he did was right or wrong. I think it was correct for him. And since I'm not him, I can't judge his decision to do that. He comes with this Miss Momo, Miss Momo. Watch all this interracializing, intermingling. They think they about to breed out hatred and racism. People that swirl is just as racist as their partner, colorism. Um, I'm just gonna stand on my principles. I love me a black man. I don't plan on going anything past the black man. I'm proud so far. My kids have maintained they have maintained it. So, but I did have that moment. My son didn't have that, but I was nipping shit in the butt anyway. I was nipping shit in the butt, and I would probably still nip shit in the butt. But y'all could go ahead and be like, "Hey, EB," y'all could be like, whatever. You know, we got our own. We got our own things, but there's no way he's fine. Don't ask. Uh, um, I'm just gonna leave it as I'm gonna summarize it like this. We've got a long way to come, and I don't know what the real agendas are out here. And I just think that folks are unhappy on a case by case basis. I think that folks are unhappy with their current choices or options. And when I say they're unhappy with their choices, is because you don't find people have to realize that relationships is something that you have to work on. Be careful with all your cap locks, EB. Nightbot will take you out. Um, 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 I think there are some folks that are disappointed in their own personal choices or lack thereof. So they come back and give you, because they have an avenue to vent, the whole bad side of things. But if you were to really examine or pull back the layers of hurt from that person and get to the bottom of what is good in their life, what is favorable, you may encounter people who are really good people but very confused at what happiness is, what success means really. And if you can take away all the heated, charred conversations that tear at a person's existence and really get to why they roll the way they roll and meet them halfway with a meaningful dialogue on promise and prosperity with a direction and a plan, I think you would find less of these conversations that are meaningless. You would find less, you would find more, you would be able to reshape the conversation out of respect. But because we lack respect for one another, um, and we are angry in the choices and the options available, you find a lot of misguided anger directed at everyone. Yeah, I would have to agree with Mr. Williams in his last statement, only because and you see Satsuma, only because of what I've experienced here on the YouTube. When I interact with people of different races on my day to day, I don't feel the hostility. But that's my current environment. I've been in an environment with people of color, and I was in a hostile environment led by a woman of color, and it was disgusting. And everyone that worked with her, even people of non-color, wore some scars being employed by this woman. But by having this interaction, she was the worst ever. Fuck her. With the high regard of fuck her. I remember recently running into her boss in the street, just passing off of the railroad, and her boss asking me how was I doing, did I survive. Bitch, you knew I survived. You had to get out of there to survive. Abusive relationships is something you have to leave. Nevertheless, you got to get out. Like, and we got people here that are sharing their hurt from a place of still being hurt. And that's just what it is. They can't find a silver lining in that in their they can't find a silver lining in their situation, where the rest of us know better or feel a little different. But because I gotta move the car and I'm gonna look for something to eat, I've got to go. This social media is destroying. It absolutely is. But the good side of this is that more of us are not here, and the people that are not here are not using us as a bungee board or for what mainstream society is thinking. This right now is seeming like an anomaly. When that guy bugs out and starts calling shit the 1%, he is fucking right. The 1% of the black people here is cray cray. The 1% of the thought process, the anger, the hostility, the continuous negative bashing, all of that stuff, that 1% that's sitting here, if the 99% that doesn't come on the YouTube and own the channel did, it would swallow up this 1% so much. But because we are an anomaly within this 1% of that mind thought, and I'm giving them 1% because I don't want to think that there's more of this going on out here. But the numbers is probably way much higher. But this is just me trying to marginalize their impact so that we do reach somebody. That you do start to have conversations that are more that have more rigor, that are contra to that. We got to do more. Oh, I'm being loved. I appreciate that. I just try to keep it real. Anyway, this is Mo. Mo. I got to go. Oh, this is Mo, and I'm not a hoe.